Good evening, everyone, and welcome to WDW Opinion Live. My name is Conor Brown, and I'm a lifelong Disney fan who's been going to the parks for the last 20 years, and I'm also a former cast member, so I know what it takes to make the magic. My passion is simple. It's to help you have the best possible Disney vacation, whether you're planning or daydreaming for the next one, whenever that might be. I do that through my WDW Opinion blog, podcasts, and these Facebook live streams so that I can share my knowledge, my Disney knowledge, with you to have the best possible Disney World vacation. Thanks so very much for tuning in. If you are catching us on the replay, be sure to stop in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern so you can chat and respond to us in real time. But if you are here tonight live, thank you so very much for tuning in. Let us know where you're coming from in the comments. Say hello, and let's get this thing started. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest news stories from Walt Disney World, as well as the latest content pieces from WDW Opinion. I'm going to share my thoughts on all of them, but I ask you to please share your thoughts as well. If you see something else you like in the comment section that you agree with, like their comment, say hello to them. After all, this is the WDW community, opinion community, and we're only going to get bigger once you start liking and commenting and connecting with our other viewers as well. All right, let's get started with story number one. It's a new Marvel comic book is coming, and it's actually going to be previewing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disneyland this year. Disneyland's will open in summer, and Disney World's will open in late fall or fall. We're hearing fall now, but we'll see what that means. So Marvel is set to release a new comic book series in April in anticipation of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It will be called Journey to Batuu, and it will be a 5-issue series that will take place before the events of Star Wars A New Hope, that's Episode 1, and feature Han Solo and Chewbacca, the dynamic duo. The location of Batuu is the same planet which Black Spire Outpost is on, which is location of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Now I know that's a lot to probably try and comprehend, so this is what it is. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is the entire land. Now, the land that you will go into is one singular city. That's called Black Spire Outpost. Black Spire Outpost is on one planet, which is called Batuu. I know they try to make it as confusing as humanly possible, especially when we all know what we're going to call it once it opens, which is Star Wars Land. No one's ever going to remember Batuu or Black Spire Outpost. Probably very few will even remember Galaxy's Edge, but we will remember Star Wars Land. So, anyways, this is directly from StarWars.com. It says, pirates, smugglers, merchants, and wanderers from across the galaxy have traveled to make their score or sell their wares at the infamous Black Market located at Black Spire Outpost on Batuu. In April, journey to this locale in the Outer Rim in the new Marvel Star Wars comic series, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which ties into the new lands at the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort that open later this year. Readers of the 5-issue miniseries will be the first to meet the infamous, I don't know how to pronounce this, Dok Ondar, the Lithorian collector of rare antiquities. Star Wars nerds, feel free to critique me. I know I pronounced all of those words wrong. And find out what happens when the First Order reaches the edges of wild space. The key to saving this lawless outpost might just involve a job pulled long ago by none other than Han Solo and his cohort Chewbacca. Get your first look at concept design variant cover featuring Dok Ondar, designed by Carl Lindbergh and Ian McCraig for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Issue 1. And on the screen right now, right there, you can see the concept art for the first comic book. And this cover art will also be created in tandem with Walt Disney Imagineering and Lucasfilm. I personally love this idea. Ever since Disney bought Marvel back in 2008, 2009, they've started to add in the parks in some variety or another. Disney Kingdom series is this comic book series that features attractions like Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, the Enchanted Tiki Room, and Figment, and it puts these characters and attractions in new, unique stories that add to the canon, as it were, of these attractions, which is pretty cool. If you've never heard of those, I highly recommend you pick them up. They're in hardbound copies now. You can get them on Amazon or wherever you find comic books. They're really cool because they're these characters and attractions that you know and love in a new way, and it's something you can experience outside of the parks in the comic books. So anytime you're able to experience this, whatever form it might be, I always like that because I always like bringing a little piece of the parks to my everyday life, whatever that is. Sometimes it's comic books, sometimes what we were talking about last week, it might be Mickey premium ice cream bars coming. Sometimes it might be books that you get in the parks or souvenirs. But it's cool because Marvel is partnering with the parks department in Disney World, in Disneyland, to come out with this comic book. And Star Wars and Marvel actually have a very long legacy. Back in 1977, Marvel started producing Star Wars comic books. They did that for about 10 years, and then another publisher took over in the 90s called Dark Horse Publishing. They published Star Wars comics all the way up until 2015, but then Disney said, hey, we own Lucasfilm now. We own Marvel. We got to bring these two back together. And ever since 2015, Marvel has been producing and publishing comics based on the new iterations of Star Wars, the old iterations of Star Wars, and also brand new characters that you can only find in the comic books. They're very cool. You want to check those out as well. So this whole thing, this new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge comic, is the three big components of Disney coming together. You got the parks and the Imagineering team of Galaxy's Edge partnering with Marvel, partnering with Lucasfilm and Star Wars to bring you this comic book. I can't wait for April to come. I know I'm going to stop by my local comic shop to pick up this 5-issue run. It's going to be very cool. I don't think we'll get a whole lot of insight into what Black Spire Outpost, what Batuu will actually look like, but it's going to be for a cool story, and it's going to give you a little insight and backstory into that land. Not a whole lot, but again, it's just a hype machine working its tail off. And April is coming up pretty soon, but we still have many months until those lands open at Disneyland and Disney World. So that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? Are you gonna stop by your local comic shop to pick this up, or are you just gonna wait until the land opens to experience it for the first time? Let us know in the comments. All right, story number 2 is that 2 new events, or I should say 2 old events, are now on sale at Walt Disney World. The first being H2O event. Now, I talked about this on the podcast earlier this week, which you should definitely check out, but it's worth mentioning here. Tickets on sale now for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and the H2O Glow Nights at Typhoon Lagoon. H2O Glow will take place on Thursday and Saturday nights from May 30th all the way through August 24th. The event will run from 8 to 11 p.m., but you can get into the park as early as 6 p.m., and it'll have special food and drinks, an adults only section, DJ dance party, live entertainment, and all of your favorite Typhoon Lagoon attractions will be open. Tickets are $59 for adults in advance, $69 day of, and then tickets for children aged 3 to 9 are a little bit cheaper. But you'll definitely want to buy those in advance. Even a day before, you'll save $10. It's a no-brainer if you know you're going to go. So what do you think about this event? Is this something you've been to before? Would you consider going to this? Me, personally, I've never been to H2O Glow Nights before. Last year was its first year, but I've been hearing some incredible things. People absolutely love it. And let me just say this about Typhoon Lagoon. It is an absolutely beautiful park. It is totally uniquely themed. It's its own unique world and story. While I've never been to H2O Glow Nights, I did get the opportunity to go to a nighttime party at Typhoon Lagoon. And as beautiful as that park is during the day, it's even cooler at night, both in temperature and atmosphere-wise. It's just something unique to experience, especially at nighttime. Going to a water park at night, that's not something you get to do every day. So H2O Glow, definitely something you might want to consider doing. Head over to DisneyWorld.com to book those tickets. And now, of course, it's January, which means it's time to start talking about Halloween, right? Of course not, but Disney wants you to start talking about Halloween. because tickets are now on sale for the Not So Scary Halloween party. And this year, there are 32 total parties you can attend. That's insane. The event takes place on select nights starting August 16th. That's right, August 16th, which is 76 days before Halloween. If you can get into the Halloween spirit that early, more power to you. Then you definitely have to go to this event as well. And it goes all the way until November 1st. I really like that. They used to do that in years past, have a Halloween party on Halloween, October 31st, and then one or two the day after. Reason being is those parties on the 31st of October, they sell out quickly, as they should. It's the day, it's the reason for the season, as it were. So having one the day after, I think, gives locals the opportunity to trick or treat in their neighborhoods, and then come to Disney on perhaps a less crowded day. It's more of an overflow, if you will. What do you guys think? Are you going to the Not So Scary Halloween party this year? I haven't been to one in a couple of years. I went to Very Merry Christmas Party last year. I think Very Merry is still my favorite of those two Magic Kingdom hard-ticketed events. I just think that the Christmas kind of vibe is more full there. The decorations, I think, are a little better. Both have two great fireworks shows and parade shows, but it's just Christmas for me. What do you guys like? Do you like the Christmas parade or party or the Halloween party? What would you pick? What's your favorite one there? Tickets start at $79, but they go up depending on the day that you book. Closer to Halloween, it's going to get higher in price. If they have something on like a Friday, it's going to be more expensive than a Tuesday, as it were. I will say this. As long as Disney can stop letting so many people in, because I know that was a complaint last year. They started to let more and more people in, which is really the allure of these events, is small, capped events that really reduce wait times. There were a lot of reports of Disney wasn't doing that. They were letting in as many people as possible. That really hurts when you go in and it's just as crowded as a normal day. If Disney can refrain from that, then these events are totally worth it. They're the same sort of thing. They start around 7 or 8. You can get in as early as 4, depending on the day. So you can get almost a full day's worth when it comes to time with this ticket. They can get pretty expensive, but you're getting so many unique benefits, like those parades, those fireworks shows, trick-or-treating, as it were, unique entertainment. There's a whole different kind of vibe on Main Street, too. There's different music playing. There's at the Haunted Mansion, I love the cast members there actually dress up more. They put on makeup. They surround themselves with cobwebs and stuff. It's a cool overlay that even the cast members get into the spirit of. It's definitely something you want to check out. DisneyWorld.com. You can get all the information there and start booking your tickets for these events. And our third news story of the week is that we get new details about the Riviera Resort coming to Walt Disney World later this year. Reservations are now being accepted for stays starting December 16th, 2019 for the Riviera Resort. This will be the 15th Disney Vacation Club resort, and it's combining the elegance of Europe with the theming and storytelling of Disney. Today we also got some new details about the resort itself, including the dining locations it will offer. The first one, Topolino's Terrace, Flavors of the Riviera, will be the resort's signature restaurant and will sit on the rooftop of the resort. So Topolino is actually Mickey Mouse in Italian. So there's your first fun fact I'll give you. Here you will be able to take in incredible views of the fireworks at Hollywood Studios and at Epcot. And it's a signature dining location where dishes will feature French and Italian flavors and ingredients combined. That sounds very, very tasty. And in the morning, guests can experience character dining for breakfast. And they're saying it's going to be Riviera influence. So we'll see what that means. I love both French and Italian food. I think that this is going to bring up some tasty dishes. Signature dining means it's upscale, right? It's going to be a little bit higher priced. It's going to come at a premium, but hopefully Disney will bring their A game with this signature dining. Those two unique flavor profiles coming together in French and Italian food, plus those views are going to be absolutely incredible, both of the fireworks shows and just in general throughout the day. So Topolino's Terrace is something I'm going to look forward to. Le Petit Cafe will be a lobby cafe with coffee and small bites during the day, and then it'll transform at night to a wine bar. I think that's really appealing because it looks like the lobby is going to be very nice, elegant, but it seems like it has some big comfy chairs and couches. So that'll be a cool thing to interact with. Go down there, grab a glass of wine, grab a beer during the day, just chill as the happy hour kind of starts. And then they're also bringing Primo Piatto, which will be the quick service dining location, and Bar Riva, which will be the open air bar. And both of these are going to be locations near the pool. The pool also looks very cool, by the way. It seems like it has a zero entry, I guess that's what it's called, right? Zero entry as you enter it, so it's going to be able to walk right in, kind of like the beach. I will say it's on the back side of the tower, and when it comes to Bay Lake over at the Contemporary, depending on where the sun is, if it's blocking the sun, it can get pretty chilly over there, depending on the time of year when there's a tower involved, casting that shadow down on the pool. But the pool looks cool regardless. I love how many dining options they're bringing to this resort, because I feel like at the other DVC resorts, like maybe Saratoga Springs or Old Key West, these are massive resorts, but there's very few places to get food, maybe one or two. This is only a 300-room resort, which is still big. There's still going to be a lot of people there, but having those, 4 places you can grab a drink, grab some food, that's going to be very appealing to people. And on top of that, they're getting their own unique Disney Skyliner station. Skyliner is the new gondola system that is coming in the fall. The Skyliner station there is cool because it's themed to the resort itself, so it looks very European, gives off those vibes. I think that's also a reason why they're upping their food game, as it were, at this resort, because there's going to be a lot of people coming to this resort on the Skyliner, whether it's from Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, Art of Animation, or even they can come from Epcot or Hollywood Studios. It's going to be a very convenient location on that Skyliner gondola system, so they're going to have to be welcoming to other guests who aren't DVC members or who aren't staying there. Now, when it comes to the DVC layout, they call them villas. So for the most part, they're a little bit bigger than your traditional Disney hotel. 1 bedrooms all the way up to 3 bedrooms include a full kitchen, a full living room, in addition to the bedroom itself. But then they also have studios, which are typical kind of like Disney resort hotels. But this resort, the Riviera Resort, is bringing a new room level to the options. It's called the Tower Studio. Now, a Tower Studio is designed just for 2 people, and it's almost like an efficiency. It seems very, very small, and it's crazy because there's no bed. The only bed is actually a Murphy bed that doubles as a couch. So there's a couch along the wall, and then right behind it, it looks like there's a base, like a board, a headboard, the entire length of the wall. You reach up, pull down the bed, and it kind of comes over top of the sofa there. It's very interesting. So it's a Murphy bed. It's not necessarily a pull-out sofa, but you know what is interesting is those rooms at rack rate are $486 a night right now. That's what Disney is saying. $486 a night so you can pull a bed out of the wall. That to me is crazy. Now, there will be mostly DVC, Disney Vacation Club people staying here, so they'll be using points to stay there rather than dollars. So hopefully that point price will be much lower than what a normal studio is. A normal studio can sleep 5 because it has a bed, a sofa pull-out, and a chair pull-out. This can really only sleep 2 people. It does have a full balcony, a small balcony, but a full one that you can sit outside on. But if you're just looking to stay there without DVC points, $486 a night for a bed you pull out of the wall, that's crazy. Crazy to me. But I'm sure people will do it, or else Disney wouldn't be building it. And I will say, those beds that you pull out of the wall, they're replacing all the sleeper sofas, or it seems like they're replacing most of the sleeper sofas in this resort. So in the 1 bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms, things like that. I gotta say, that is awesome because I've slept on the sleeper sofas before and they suck. They suck, no doubt about it. That's just end all be all, they suck. But I have slept in these Murphy beds in Pop Century. They're being added in. They convert from a table to a bed, and these are actually full beds. They're not super thin like the sleeper sofas. They're almost full size mattresses that you pull out of the wall, queen size, Disney queen, so a little bit smaller. But I think that's a unique benefit that's coming to the Riviera Resort. I'm very excited for this. I think it looks very elegant. I think it looks very cool. I can't wait to try Topolino Terrace, some of the other options. Can't wait for the Skyliner to come in the fall. So they're accepting reservations starting now for stays December 16th, 2019 and on. So it's going to be coming sooner than we expect. All right, so what do you guys think of this resort? If you are DVC, would you stay at this resort or no? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Is this appeal to you, or would you stay somewhere that you're more familiar with? I will say from the artist renderings of the rooms themselves, seems like it's got a very Grand Floridian vibe to it. So who knows, maybe you just might want to stay there instead, closer to the Magic Kingdom. This place still is kind of isolated. You'll have to take transportation no matter where you go, but there's no walking. It's a bus or the gondolas, so who knows. All right, that's going to do it for the news this week. Now I want to turn it over to some content from WDWOpinion.com. And the first is our blog post. Our blog post this week is the best Magic Kingdom attractions to use FastPass Plus on. Now, FastPass Plus is a total necessity when it comes to booking your Walt Disney World vacation these days. If you're staying on property at a Disney resort or one of their partner resorts, which are kind of just off property, you get to book 60 days in advance, and you get to book 3 fast passes for 1 theme park per day in advance. Once you use those 3, you can book the 4th, of course. If you're staying off property or you're not staying anywhere, you're a local, something like that, just going down for the day, you can start booking in advance 30 days. So this is crucial if you want to ride, experience the attractions you desperately want to ride. You're going to want to book FastPass Plus as soon as humanly possible so that you can have abbreviated wait times. It's basically a guarantee. As long as the attraction doesn't close or break down, you'll be able to ride that with the FastPass Plus. But at Magic Kingdom, there's a ton of great attractions. In fact, there's 22 attractions or character meet and greets you can use a FastPass Plus on. That doesn't mean they're all worth FastPass Pluses. Disney knows this. They know they can't have just a few places offer FastPass because then no one would be able to get it, right? The ratios would be so narrow and slim. So what it means at Magic Kingdom is, yes, there are ones that you could essentially waste a fast pass on. There are attractions that historically have relatively low wait times that might not be the best use of your fast pass. Things like the Undersea Voyage of the Little Mermaid, Undersea Adventure, I don't know. They have the same freaking attraction. One's a stage show in Hollywood Studios, one's a ride, and it's basically the same name. It tells the exact same story. I can never remember their names, but the Little Mermaid ride in Magic Kingdom almost routinely has 20-minute or less wait. The very busy days, of course, that's going to get more wait times are going to increase on that. But that's not something you want to use a FastPass Plus on, especially one of those first 3 that you're booking. There's other options out there that you're going to want to avoid, but what are the best ones to use? I go over a couple tips in this blog post article, including to use this with rope drop. Rope drop means getting there, anywhere from an hour to 30 minutes before the park opens so that you can basically beeline it to an attraction that you want, and you'll ride that with relatively low wait time as well. So taking the rope drop aspect and combining that with FastPass Plus, that's going to help you knock out a few rides. It's basically going to give you 4 attractions at the FastPass Plus window, meaning you'll be able to ride in a short period of time. That first one you're not going to use a FastPass on, you're just going to walk on, and then the next 3 you'll be able to use that FastPass Plus on. So combining it with rope drop is very important, And then I give some tips on kind of picking what you absolutely must ride and what you'd like to ride. If you'd like to ride something, maybe don't use a Fast Pass Plus on it. If you have to ride it, if you must ride it, that's what you're going to want to use a Fast Pass Plus on. One other tip I'll give you right here is picking two attractions and picking one of them to use Fast Pass Plus on and one of them to use a standby, just wait in line. Those options are pick either Splash Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain. They typically have the same times, so I would lean towards a Fast Pass at Splash Mountain and then waiting in the line at Big Thunder Mountain. It kind of works out well because you're knocking out both of those rides with one standby line, and those get busy but not incredibly busy. Same goes for Jungle Cruise or Pirates. I would use a Fast Pass on one of those, not both of them. That just helps to kind of spread out your Fast Passes around the area so that while you're waiting for a Fast Pass, you can ride Pirates and then use your Fast Pass on Jungle Cruise, something like that. Rather than not necessarily wasting them, but using them in such close proximity, you can spread it out a little bit more. So those are just a couple of tips that I hope you use when you're booking your next Fast Pass Pluses. If you want to learn all of the tips, head over to WDWOpinion.com. You'll see that blog post right up in front on the homepage. I hope you'll like it. All right, and for the podcast this week, episode 26, we took a walking tour of Coronado Springs. Me and my co-host on the podcast, Hank, we got the opportunity to stay at Coronado Springs just for a night a couple months ago. And I was saying this on the podcast, it's not always my first pick, Coronado Springs, but every time I'm there, I seem to really like it. I'm always like, gosh, this is a good resort. This is a nice resort. It's big. I think it's very picturesque. I love the theming. That Southwest American Mexico vibe it's got going on is very cool. But I will say, right now, they're undergoing massive changes. They're building their Destino Tower, which looks very much like the Riviera Resort I talked about. This tower at Coronado Springs will be opening in July. With it, it's going to have its own rooftop dining there, as well as another dining location in the middle of Lago Dorado, which is the lake that's in the center of the resort. So all that construction that's going on right now, it's going to be it's going to get in the way if you're staying there anytime from now through the beginning of summer until that construction ceases. So where we like it now, it's going to start to have a completely different vibe. That tower is big. It's going to add over 500 rooms to the resort. That's going to be a lot of people in, yes, a bigger resort, but still relatively small footprint-wise. So certain areas like the food court, like the pools, like the lobby areas are going to get pretty crowded. Maybe they're going to have to start running more buses to it. The gondola Skyliner system is not going to stop here. So only time will tell if Coronado Springs completely changes its vibe, if it's something completely different. This tower is also being built because it's the biggest convention resort on Walt Disney World property. So there's a lot of convention goers there. That also, changes the vibe of the resort. Kind of takes away from maybe the family friendliness of it. Still very much family friendly, but there's a lot of people, walking around in business attire, which can kind of take away from the theming. So come July, we'll have to head back over there and see if it's changed completely or if it still has that cool Coronado Springs vibe. I'll say this, every time it comes up, I say, oh yeah, I guess I could stay at Coronado. It's a little bit more affordable than anything else. I'll stay there, whatever. I'm never happy about it. Once I get there, I'm very excited because I do really like the resort. I think it's well themed. It's awesome. What do you guys think? Is this a place you would stay? Have you stayed here in the past? Is it your quote-unquote home resort? If it is this new tower, the Destino Tower, something you're looking forward to or something that's going to prevent you from maybe staying there in the future? I look forward to seeing what it's going to bring, if they're going to bring in more buses, if it's going to be more chaotic, what they're going to do with the old lobby, because the new lobby is going into that new tower. That old lobby is a big space. Who knows if they could put in a kitchen or another dining experience there. Only time will tell with that. But for now, Coronado Springs is just amuck with construction, and it'll definitely impede your stay. So you might want to take that into consideration if you have any stays coming up soon and you're looking to stay at Coronado Springs. So in this episode, we also talk about a couple news stories, and we share a Disney legend of the month. This legend of the month is John Hench, who was an integral part of the Disney parks, both in the design aspect and the implementation of attractions. And he's also an iconic Disney animator working on, Bambi, or no, I'm sorry, Peter Pan, old school Disney animator from back in the day that Walt really admired. We talk all about John Hench and his contributions to the company as a whole. You'll definitely want to tune into that episode if you haven't already. WDWopinion.com/episode 26. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me this week. Thank you so very much for tuning in again. Be sure to tune in next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook Live. Thanks again for being here, everyone. Head over to WDWopinion.com. Sign up for our weekly email newsletter. That way we'll keep you in the loop of all the content we got coming up. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. And until later, I'll see you real soon.